I'm Lindsey Hall and I worship at St Anne's, Chasetown. Do not let your hearts be troubled. These are some words of Jesus that we hear at the beginning of John's Gospel, chapter 14. Jesus is talking to his disciples, his friends, and he says to them, "Do not let your hearts be troubled." The disciples have quite a bit they might be troubled about. Jesus has just finished explaining to them that he must go to Jerusalem, where he knows he will be put to death. And he also knows that after 3 days he will rise again. Jesus is trying to explain to the disciples how they can know that God is always with them. And he starts what ends up being quite a complicated explanation about how they know God because they know him, with those words, "Do not let your hearts be troubled." And I think Jesus speaks those words to each of us. I wonder what has been troubling you today, these last few days, these last weeks. What are the troubles that you are carrying with you? What do Jesus' words, "Do not let your heart be troubled," mean for you today? They might feel a little bit like somebody telling you to calm down when you're stressed, or not to worry when you're already anxious. Annoying rather than helpful. But there might be another way to hear them as well. Jesus is the one who offers us peace that passes all understanding. And when Jesus says to us, "Do not let your hearts be troubled," I don't think he's saying, "Don't worry about it at all, none of it matters, be indifferent to it, behave as though you don't care, as though it doesn't matter." When Jesus said, "Do not let your hearts be troubled," he knows for himself that there is nothing bigger than God, that all of the things he faces, is worried about, has to contend with, are all in the hands of his Father. And so Jesus' confidence that our hearts shouldn't be troubled isn't because this world won't be difficult, but because this world will never be without the presence of God our Father. And so whilst we may be worried and anxious and stressed, we can also receive the peace that Jesus promises, and we can allow our hearts not to be troubled because God is with us.